So now that Cobra Kai has unfortunately ended, a lot of fans are wondering if this franchise is now over, or if there'll be more to come. I definitely believe we're gonna get spin-offs and more future things for this universe. So what potential spin-offs or prequels could we get? One spin-off I think we're guaranteed to get is a young Mr. Miyagi prequel. There's definitely a lot you could do with it, especially with the whole Sekai Taikai thing of like why he competed, why he killed someone. They never addressed that in part 3, so maybe we could really understand why and also just learn more about him. But I was thinking that we're probably going to get some of these answers in Karate Kid Legends, which we know is coming out in a few months. Judging by the trailer we got, I think it's pretty obvious that Mr. Han probably knew Mr. Miyagi some way, maybe through his family, through his ancestors, because of the Shimpo sensei that came to China and learned Kung Fu, brought back the secret of karate, so they'll probably elaborate more on that in the film. And also, in part 1, in the box that they found of Mr. Miyagi's secrets, Chosen found a coin that was from China, so it probably meant that Mr. Miyagi went to China at some point in his life and probably knew Mr. Han from there, because they didn't address it all in part 3. But there's definitely a lot more they can do on Mr. Miyagi's own show too, like showing his whole childhood, like from his life in Okinawa, where his father taught him fishing, karate, and his whole friendship with Sato, how that turned to rivalry, and also just where Mr. Miyagi went after leaving Okinawa. Remember the boxing gym guy that we saw in part 1? I was really expecting to see him in part 3. We didn't get him at all. I thought he was gonna explain what the secret was, but it was just Daniel's mom who explained the secret. So maybe he might be in the Karate Kid Legends movie, because I found it weird how they acknowledged it in part 1, how the whole boxing gym that he owned with his grandfather, Mr. Miyagi, but they didn't really elaborate anything on that. So I'm really curious about that part as well. I think a Mr. Miyagi prequel was already confirmed a while back. John Hurwitz, Josh Hield, and Hayden Schloss were confirmed that they're interested in expanding Miyagi's story, but they had to finish Cobra Kai first. We could also get a prequel about young Kreese and Silver, about their time in Vietnam, how they met, and what happened to them after they left the war, how that changed them. And also just knowing more about them. Like if you remember, Silver said he had a rich dad, like he came from a rich family. Maybe they could elaborate more on that. And also Kreese about his childhood and after his mom died, what happened to him. And also they could explain what happened between Karate Kid 3 and Cobra Kai Season 4 before they came back to the valley. Also, another spin-off that I think had a lot of potential is a continuation of Robby and Tori. We saw at the end of Season 6 how they became these athletes, sponsorships who were now going to compete around the world and become professional influencers, so they could definitely do a lot of that. And we could even see Robby competing in a tournament and finally winning for once. I also think it'd be interesting to get an Iron Dragon spin-off with Axel, Zara, and Sensei Wolf. Because with Axel and Zara, after they lost the tournament, we didn't really see much of them. They just left and went away. So it'd be cool to see the origins of them, why is Axel the way he is, how he got abused by Wolf all those years, why he's so aggressive. It'd be interesting to see. And same with Zara. And with Sensei Wolf, I thought he was such an interesting character, but he honestly just came across really underdeveloped. We barely got to know him, so they could definitely explore more of his origins of where he came from, what martial arts style he trained in, what tournaments he competed in. It would also be interesting to see a spin-off of Johnny and Daniel teaching the new generation of kids in Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. We saw at the end of Season 6 a bunch of new students join their dojos, as well as Kenny, Devon, and Anthony stayed. So we could get a continuation of them teaching together and seeing Kenny and Devon win the next All Valley even, as well as meet the new characters. And who knows, maybe in 20 years we'll get a sequel with Miguel, Robby, Sam, and Tori as adults coming back to fight someone new. So overall, there's a lot of potential for future spin-offs and sequels of the Cobra Kai universe. As always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, if you agree, if you disagree, what you make of the characters' outcomes, anything you want. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.